when
otherwise,
learned it was like for the first push.
well, otherwise, hold on, I do not enjoy being recorded. Can I just stop video? Okay. Sometimes, no, I think that Git sometimes gets upset, and sometimes you can get away without it, but sometimes it gets upset if you have no upstream repo. So if I do this, I'm just telling you that my origin is my upstream repo. It's everything. It's my upstream repo. It's my local repo. It's everything. So, so I can do this, where it's like, okay, it made a new branch called master. This is the repo name that comes from here. And then this is the branch. Master, again, is just, if you have no other branches, just call your branch master. And then I set it to be the upstream branch. It's just sort of like, just not leaving any ambiguity. This isn't forked from anywhere.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Actually, one time I didn't use it, it messed up something.
Oh, okay, okay.
So now I just, like, every first push is I upstream.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so now that I've pushed, let's go here, and now I have my brilliant algorithm here. So the key is to make an empty GitHub repo and then do the git remote add to attach the two. Yeah, Misha.
You're recording, right?
I am. No, I'm not. I started, but I didn't actually. No, yeah, no, I am recording. Woohoo! Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. What did people learn today?
I learned about subqueries and derived tables.
Derived tables. Nice.
Yeah, I learned about those too. I feel like my confidence is much higher now with SQL.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hella awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't get too far into the puppy
Mm-hmm.
API. I spent a lot of my time but when I did get started, it was like kind of clunky. I kept running into like
Puppies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In what way clunky?
Just the tutorial or like the instructions that we were following, like I don't know if there were just like holes in it or like holes in my knowledge, but like it was pretty rough.
Okay. What else did people learn today?
I just learned like basic syntax, like and.
Oh yeah, like. Like's a good one. What does like do?
Kind of like a regex. Well, it matches characters or sequence with whatever you call it for.
Okay, so I've got these tables. How can I get all the owners whose last name is Jetson?
You do all, select all, you'll see from what's the name of the
Owners.
Where?
And actually, let me just do. So you've got owner, ID, and you've got name.
Okay. So where name equals whatever the last name is, it said.
Well,
Jetson.
I think
Name is.
Or name like
You have to,
Jetson.
yeah, name like Jetson.
Oh,
Is with
Yeah.
and the percent sign of this is like
Ah, why percent sign in front of the Jetson?
because Jetson's last name.
Because you want it to end with Jetson.
You don't need so you don't need a closing one.
No, because it actually ends completely. What's that? Yeah, come on in. Because it actually ends completely with Jetson. What would happen if I do this?
It wouldn't bring it wouldn't bring back everything because I think you're being specific right there.
Yeah, in what way am I being specific?
It means to end with Jetson.
Here, what do you think, Marquise?
I know. I
It's hard to articulate.
Yeah.
Somebody else want to take a stab? Yeah, Allie?
Because that parameter is explicit unless you use a wildcard to give it like the ability to be flexible about it. And so if you added a percent at the end of it, it would include anything that has Jetso in it. But if you don't, then it looks exactly for things that are ending in Jetso.
Why just ending in Jetso?
Because the percentage in front creates a wildcard for anything before it.
Because the percentage in front, I'm telling it, I can have anything I want before Jetso, but it's got to end with Jetso. I'm not allowing for any flexibility after Jetso. So, as people were saying, if I do this, then I'm okay. Questions on that?
Is that a SQL thing or is that a regular expression thing?
It's a SQL thing. It's similar to if I were to here, if I were to ls, and I'm going to do a -d because these are all directories, and I don't want it to actually give me the directory contents, I just want it to give me the directory names. So if I do an ls-d, let's see, em, okay. So if I do, let's do me, star me, there's delete me. But if I do star me star, now I get both delete me and time functions. Similar to the percents, right? If I do this, what am I going to get?
We'll start with me.
And we've got everything that has me in it at all.
And so you won't get nothing.
Nothing starts with me. Good. Okay. So, okay, yeah. So, like Jetso. What if I do? I'll put back the Jetson. What if I do this?
I don't think that's gonna fly because I think that's the insensitive way.
Oh, yeah. If I just do like, it considers case sensitive. It considers caps and non-caps. It's case sensitive. Does anybody know how to make it case insensitive?
I didn't get that far yet.
Kind of like.
I like. For case insensitive, I.
Oh, yeah.
Good, the percentage. And like. What else did people learn today?
about set operations.
Set operations, like the union and nice. Those are not common, but when you need them, you really need them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a hard time with that. In that some of them like accept. Isn't that the same thing as like a outer, not an outer join, but like it seemed like they did the same things that like other command library did.
Well, a lot of times, like, so let me tell you where I've, like, the only time that, like, professionally I've used those set operations, and it was when I was doing union, when I really wanted to give results of two separate queries, but mash them together in one table of results. That's the only time that I've ever really used those.
Okay.
And I used to do a lot of SQL queries for a living. So just, you can keep that in mind.
Were you working back end?
I was working in developer support. It was back end but I was helping people who were using our software, like external developers who were using our software in their development. Right. So, yeah, that's, but a lot of what I was doing was also just like helping people make reports. Like I was just doing a lot of like querying. I mean, I would make SQL queries that were like a page long, like really, really long, complicated queries. Super fun. I love SQL. You guys want to look at puppies? Who wants to volunteer your repo for us to look at? Thanks, Allie.
I only got the schema.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's go here. All right, so I am going to, oh yeah, that needs to be bigger. All right, so I'm going to fork it. Fork you, Allie.
Does anybody here watch the Thank Yous?
Oh, yeah. She's like, so like, do you guys know the premise where, what's her name? Kristen Bell ends up in heaven sort of by accident. And so she's supposed to, so she's sort of trying to figure it out, and she knows she doesn't belong there. And she's like, what the fork? She's like, why can't I say fork? And somebody says, oh no, we just sanitize that for you, or whatever they say. And she's like, that's bullshit. Yeah. Okay, so all right, so now I'm forked. So now I do have an upstream branch if I really wanted to do all that upstream stuff. If other people were going to be contributing to Allie's and I wanted to be pulling that stuff down from Allie's. But for now, I'm not going to make upstream an upstream because I'm just going to work from my own local. So I'll clone. This probably can just be a little smaller so you guys can see just a little bit better what's going on. All right, so I'm cloning here. It's going to make a new directory, right? So I'm just going to clone in my source directory. You guys with me on that? Like it'll make a new directory. So it's cloning into puppies. It's making a new directory called puppies. So now if I cd into puppies, this is Allie's code now.
That would be the way to avoid mistakes, is to do it that way, is to just clone it directly into you.
So what I did was with Allie's, first I forked her repo because I want to make changes and save them, and I cannot do that directly to Allie's repo because Allie has not given me permission to do that. So the only way I can make changes and commit them and push them back up to GitHub is if I have a forked copy of her repo. So this is a forked copy of Allie's repo, and Allie might actually make changes to her repo, and they are not going to affect my forked copy. And I have permissions on my forked copy so that at the end of this, after I've made changes and comments on Allie's code, I'm going to make a pull request to her repo so that she can merge those changes into her repo if she wants. So that's how it works. I make my own repo by forking. I do all my stuff on it. And then I can make a pull request directly to Allie's repo because it knows that this repo and Allie's repo are connected. GitHub knows that. It knows that this has been forked from her repo. And right, and so then, and you'll see when I do this that GitHub is actually very helpful. If I've just made a commit, it'll be like, you just made a commit. Do you want to make a pull request to Allie's repo? And I'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. All right, let's take a look. All right, so let's add this. Okay, so the first thing, and Allie, I want to super appreciate you for opening yourself up to this, but I'm going to be giving feedback because that's my job. So the first thing I notice is that there is no README. The README, it's good to have a README that has things that tell you how to initialize the project. So for example, I'll just show you one that I have. Oh, now I'm in Alley Face. I want to get back to Flyrite Sister. Okay. So I have here in my repositories and this Ajax scaffold, for example. So in this Magic 8-ball, I have a README. And the README tells you, in order to install it, the first thing you do is you do an npm install, and then you do an npm, you fork or clone the repo, npm install, npm dev start. That's how you do this. I also have another one here called pets. This one's more complicated. You're going to do an npm install, then you're going to do an npm db create, then an npm db seed, and then an npm dev start. So this is telling people how to get started with your project. Okay, so, all right, so let me get the lay of the land here. Let's look at the package.json. Okay, so we've got an npm start, and we've got some dependencies. Okay, so let's, so the first thing I want to do is an npm install, just to get those dependencies installed in my project here. Oh, in fact, wait, notice that I actually have a node modules. I know, I interrupted you. The node modules is in the GitHub repo, which, no, it's not. I just, node modules. Okay, that just got there when I started. Okay, so I take it back. So I'm gonna do you know how to just reset your Git repo? How do you do that, Kelsey?
Git reset.
Node module is still there. Yeah, I would do a git checkout. That's what I usually do. Git checkout master. Nope. Okay. Oh, I think let's go back here and just take a look. But I think okay. Nope. I just need to get back to Allie's project for a minute because I want to investigate what's going on. Thank you. Okay, so Allie's does have the node modules in it, but it also has node modules in her git ignore. How did that happen, do you think?
I think it's because you have the slash.
No, if you have a slash, that's okay. It just means that it's for directories.
No, I know.
How did it happen, Allie?
Because I ran the express generator and did my first commit when I was setting up my GitHub before I created my git ignore.
Yeah, so she added and committed the node modules before the git ignore was there. But in general, you don't want the node modules to be, why not? Why don't you want node modules to be in your GitHub repo? Merge conflict hell, reason number 1. Reason number 2? Yeah.
If someone's trying to download your project, they don't want to get a million different files.
It's a waste of space, right? This node module is easily recreated. And it does not need to be taking space. What if you were on a really, really slow connection and you could only get, like a few files, at a time? You don't want to bother downloading all of these.
And when they do an install, it will like create no modules anyway.
Easily recreated, exactly. So I'm going to remove node modules. The R means recursive, remove the directory and all of its contents. The F means
Force.
yeah, it means don't ask me about every file. Okay, so, and now I'm going to do npm install. And now it should install all my stuff and make a new node modules. How do I get node modules out of my GitHub repository? I can do that, but it's still in my GitHub repo.
Can't you delete it like in your GitHub repo?
Like on the web? Like here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could. How can I do it from here?
Git.
Do git checkout in file.
That will just reset it to back whatever it was with the last commit. But this is in the last commit, so that's a problem. If I just commit again,
Stays there.
it stays there. It's still there. The commit won't touch files that it doesn't think that you haven't explicitly told it to remove. So that's the hint.
Well, sorry, I meant like remove it and then commit again. Like,
How do you remove it? Okay. The problem is, I want to go on Flywrite Sister. I'm going to refresh this. Oh my gosh, you're totally making a liar out of me. I thought that you had to explicitly do a git rm of it, but apparently not. All right, there you go. Okay.
well, I just figured like if it like when you push and it removes lines of code, I don't see why.
Well, usually, I mean, like in the past, I've always had to remove. I'd had to do a git rm just to tell Git that I'm removing it. Okay, well there you go. All right, so
when on the master branch, like a file or directory is like removed, on the forked branch that will disappear as well.
well, only if Allie merges my pull request in. I haven't made the pull request yet. But I haven't touched Allie's repo at this
Oh,
point.
is on yours.
I'm only touching my repo, and I'm one commit ahead of Allie. And what is that commit? Removing the node modules.
Gotcha.
You know, you're right. You never used to like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because before you had to even have to make it like remove the modules, make another branch, and merge back to master.
Yeah. I've never had to do the make another branch, but I've always had to do the get RM.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe they updated, maybe GitHub.
Or it would be Git, because this is like this. All of this is just the Git here. But yeah, it sounds like there's an update. All right. Well, everybody wins. Okay, so let's do an npm install to get my node modules back. And now if I do a git status, it shouldn't show me. Yeah, I'm okay. Even though I added node modules, because it's in my .git ignore, it doesn't say there are any changes that Git cares about. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Stashed away.
well, it's like basically, so I just added node modules. It wasn't there before. And so Git should be concerned, right? Because in general, if Git's like, oh, there's something there that wasn't there before. But node modules is an exception because it's in the git ignore. And stuff that's in the git ignore, Git just doesn't even care about. It's there, it's not there, Git doesn't care. Okay, great. So you can never have enough Git. All right, so now let's look. This had an npm start. So let's do the npm start, see what happens. Okay. So Allie, can you tell me what I want to do now that it's running?
You want to go to localhost 3000/API/puppies.
Ah, okay, check out those puppies. Now, I happen to have a database called Puppies on my computer. If I had not, because I've done this project, you know, I've done a live code review of this project before. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to actually remove my Puppies database that's just been there for a long time. How do I remove a database? Drop table will drop tables within a database. But what if I want to remove the entire database? Drop DB. Okay. So now if I do the npm start again, and I go back here and I refresh this, not so rosy. It's just hanging right now. And I have an error here. It's continuing to try, bless its heart. But yeah, it's like, I got nothing. Ah, okay. So what do I need to do now? Wouldn't it be great if I had a DB create script? I believe.
Would that be psql -f puppies.sql?
A file came with it that creates the database. Puppies.sql.
Yeah, so good. So this puppy, this drops the database if it exists. It creates the database. Then what is this line doing?
Connecting to your database.
Connecting to the database puppies. Then create table breeds, create table pups. Ooh, check out that formatting. I like that a lot. Then insert into breeds. Okay.
Well, annoying is actually the example that they use.
Okay.
I didn't know if I was going to be using receipt data. Like,
Got
so
it.
I didn't want to create any like errors.
Now, from what I recall, Tyler is a retrieved and not a retriever. But
Tyler is retrieved.
just a little inside joke for people who have read the typo on the puppies.
Question.
Yeah,
The /c that connects to the database.
Yeah. \c. Yeah.
\. I haven't used that. Like I've been able to create and insert into tables before.
Yeah. Why is this necessary?
Whoa. If you don't do it, then like you would have to actually go in to Postgres and connect instead of just running the file.
I could if I wanted to. So sometimes what you do is you say pSQL and you give it a database. Let's say I say pSQL and I'm just going to create a junk database. And I can say pSQL junk, and I'm going to, do you guys know how to comment in SQL?
Is it dash dash?
Dash dash. So I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm just gonna quit out of this Atom. And if you quit me out of the other Atom, I'm gonna be really mad. Okay. So now, and I'm gonna do puppies.sql. So again, puppies.sql has these 3 lines commented out. Seemed to work. Why bother? Why bother with this stuff?
Because if you already
I want everybody to think about it for a minute. And then turn to just, did you have an idea?
No, I said, can you say the question?
Yes. The question is, why are these lines necessary? Why did the guy who made this puppies tutorial put those in there? If you could just do this and get what you need.
So you're not overriding data?
well, if you already have
Or
a
you're-
puppies
if you-
database in your
If you run when you run npm start, it'll do all that for you instead of going into.
But why can't I just say here, why can't I just say like that? That's, it's what I did with junk. It worked fine.
Sanitize.
It worked fine for junk, right? I want everybody to think about this for a second.
Because it already exists.
Can you explain real quick what that arrow means?
Yeah, that arrow is, it's like a redirect, but into it. It's like use puppies SQL as my input. So I want a pSQL junk using this puppies SQL as my input.
Got it.
Yeah.
You connect into that table. Or
That database. I'm connecting to this database
and running that query.
and running all of these queries. Okay, so can everybody turn to the person next to you and tell them what you think the answer is?
It's like
Yeah.
Well, that one is.
That's like,
Well, does it work the same as?
I mean, does it drop?
But I don't share my life the first two lines. Are your questions the first two lines and the C, right? Not just the C.
Yeah, all of them.
Wait, so you're
Yeah.
okay, so you ran MPU start. Would it just run on your files?
NPM start here is just running whatever you have here. That's all NPM start does is if you put this on the command line.
But if your script is set up, it won't run it.
What do you mean your script is set up?
Because if your SQL is set up.
Well, here, if I run db create, it'll run this, but it won't do it when I do npm start. Npm start is simply going to run this. That's all.
Okay. So why when I run npm start, it looks like it's looping?
Post your GitHub repo, and I'm going to take a look.
Okay.
Post it in Slack. You can do it now. All right. What did people come up with? What do people come up with for why the puppies guy decided to do this?
I still think it's so you don't overwrite your data.
What do you think, Brittany?
I think it's if you already have a puppies database that's different than that. Is it like you want to get rid of it and you want it structured like they have it structured in the file?
Okay, what do other people think? Yeah, Marquise Benally. Why did this guy do this when I could just as easily, do something like this with those lines commented out?
But that wouldn't necessarily.
What are your thoughts, Allie?
Well, I mean, like Nishi brought up, like because there's the auto incrementing serial IDs also, like you'll just have LBMS if you don't drop the database first.
Okay. Okay.
I Googled it.
You Googled, what did you Google? Why did that guy put those first three lines in?
I said, what's the point of that /C?
/C, yeah, what does it say?
Well, it says what we already know, which is it establishes a new connection to the PC server. But so that just made me think like maybe there might be a previous connection to the server that you want to disestablish or something.
What were you guys' thoughts?
Well, I was thinking about what's this? Is it forcing it? Is it the same as using the arrow?
The -F? Yeah, the -F I think might be for file and not force, but it is. It's very similar. Yeah, it's like run all those commands. I'm wondering if you use the arrow, if it's exactly the same. I'm actually not positive.
I actually looked up the -F, and it means file name, and it says using this option is subtly different from writing psql arrow file name. In general, both will do what you expect, but using -F enables some nice features such as error messages with line numbers. There's also a slight chance that using this option will reduce the startup overhead.
Okay. All right, essentially the same unless you care about things like startup overhead and errors with line numbers. But they say -F has the nicer features, so good to know. Okay, let me ask you this. Here, and this is sort of what you were getting at, Kelsey. If I change database to puppies here, what database was I in before?
Your default database.
Brittany and I talked about this earlier today. Your default database, right? If I do pSQL here, I am in the presenter database. That's my default database.
So it's like changing directory.
kind of like changing directories, but you're changing the whole database. And you need to do that because, as other people were getting at, if you want to completely erase the puppies database and then create it again, you cannot do pSQL puppies and then either the arrow or the -f puppies.sql, because it is going to say you cannot drop that database. It is in use because I am going to be using it right here. Oh, that's not what it says. It says, first it's complaining that puppies does not exist. So if I create DB, I can't do pSQL puppies if it doesn't exist. So now you cannot drop the currently open database. I started by stepping into puppies. Doesn't sound good. And then the first thing I did was try and drop puppies. It's even worse. And it's like you can't drop it. You're using it, right? But if I do this, now I'm going into presenter. While I'm in presenter, I can totally drop puppies. And then I can create puppies. Then I'm going to change into puppies and do, all right, it just gets better and better, and do all of these lines.
So, so this default is always presenter?
It's always your username. And actually, Brittany got into trouble this afternoon because she didn't have, her username was bturbs, and she did not have a database called bturbs. I don't know. I think that gets created when you install Postgres, and I think maybe you dropped it somewhere along the way. I don't know. That's my only guess as to what happened. She did not have bturbs. So watch this. That's what was happening to Brittany this morning or this afternoon. It's trying to go to my default, and it doesn't exist. Now it exists.
But you remembered the name of it.
Of hers?
Yeah, because you.
It was her username. bturbs.
And it told us.
It did, yeah, because here it says database presenter doesn't exist. But yeah, on yours, everybody, if you have your computer open, you can try and do a pSQL-L and check it out. Do you have a database that's called your username? I do.
Yeah.
Can I show you something?
Yeah. Yeah. Post it in P2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it without.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Did people find it? Did you find your the one with your username? And if you just do pSQL before the prompt, is that what shows up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what database you're in. Okay. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about stuff other than puppies, but that's fine. Okay. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to choose a partner for tomorrow's mixed drinks project extravaganza. So everybody right now, stand up and sit next to the person you're going to partner with.
I'm partnering with Misha.
Okay, you're partnering with Misha? Okay.
We can sit together. Yay.
Who doesn't have a partner? All right. Obo, you need a partner?
So you haven't finished the other stuff?
Even if you haven't finished the other stuff, I want you to start the mixed drinks tomorrow. Okay. Obo, let's see. Let's if Celeste is here tomorrow, I'll have you partner with her. Otherwise, can you partner with these two? Okay, cool. Everybody's got a partner? Oh, you're not going to be here tomorrow? Oh, okay, great. Amin and Obo. Okay. All right. Everybody's got a partner? Cool. Oh, who's going to be here tomorrow anyway? Okay. Everybody who's going to be here tomorrow has a partner. All right, cool. So as usual, tomorrow morning we'll check in at 9, talk about the algorithm. Then 9:45 we'll do algonauts, and then you'll be working on mixed drinks all day.
I get excited for it.
Not misunderstand.
Okay. Okay. Any? Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Is there anything that people were hoping that we'd cover this afternoon that we didn't cover? How to do this project. Okay. Yeah, this is a short week, so we're sort of cramming a lot into a small amount of time. If you and your partner decide that you want to work on puppies tomorrow instead of mixed drinks, that's totally okay.
Can I mention this little feedback bit? I just put together a super quickie. It's like name date, like a quickie survey that says name date. How well did you feel like you understood the content we covered today? Is there any additional practice you need? And then like what other feedback do you have? It'd be awesome if people could take 2 minutes, like right now before you walk out of this room, to just fill that out. That would super help. I'm sure Bonnie, I'm about to post it in I just posted it in the P2 channel. And then, like, I just think it'd be great as we're doing this experiment to get like a tight feedback loop about how it's going, how well people feel like they're understanding what we're covering, what other supports are needed, that kind of thing. Make sense?
Yeah, and thank you. I want to also thank you all for being so willing to participate in this experiment. I know this is a departure, and I appreciate you like just going with it for the week. And I am always interested in feedback. So.
Thanks for setting it up.
We're gonna be
You're
really
welcome.
hard.
Feedback except from Brittany. I just don't even want to hear Brittany's feedback. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's right.
What do you got?
So I got a couple of the queries updated.
Oh, yeah?
I like the options.
And
My
I
labels.
am really curious, like, about in the create puppy, since we're going to be adding information into 2 different tables. Like, I've never seen anything like that, like with the DB9 and then adding information into 2 different tables. And I was curious, like,
yeah, so
how
here's how I would do this. I would do the first one, and I would first insert, first I'd check to see whether the breed was already in the breeds table, right? And if it is, you've got the breed ID, and great, you'll just insert it into the breed, you'll insert the breed ID into puppies, because you don't insert the breed name, you insert the breed ID into puppies, right? If not, you'll add the breed to the breed table. So we're talking about different queries here, right? So the first query is the breed in the breeds table.
right. So if somebody is writing, right, they're not going to be writing an ID,
right?
Like, they're going to be writing a word.
Yeah. So that's what the first query is that word in my breed table?
Okay.
So let's back up a little bit. When you're inserting into pups, pups does not have a word here. Pups has a number. You need to know what that number is. So either that number is already in the table because it's a breed that you already know, in which case you can just do a query to get what the ID is associated with that breed.
So how do I fit that into here, though?
You're going to have to do many different queries, and you're going to have to do .vens to make sure that they, and I would actually probably put it in a different file.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like say stuff I that age would stay because